Coming to you live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip, it's golf and other four-letter words. And now your host, you've heard him on ESPN, Fox Sports, and Sirius XM Radio, Mr. Dennis Silvers.
Pretty good, huh?
Hey.
You weren't expecting that.
I was not, actually. I thought I had to be a quiet studio.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another fun edition of Golf and Other Four-Letter Words. Hope you're able to stick around for an action-packed 30 minutes of lively chat, lively talk, because we're all about golf. And, you know, if you love golf, you're going to love Golf and Other Four-Letter Words right here on the Vegas Video Network. So glad to have you in tonight. Got a very, very good show. Got a very good friend of mine in, a gentleman who knows a lot about the game, who's very much involved in the game and has been for a lot of years. He's got a very, very cool job we're going to be talking about. Does a lot of great things in the community right here, not only in Las Vegas, but all of Southern Nevada. So we might as well get right to it. Let's bring in my friend. We're going to go downtown with Paul Brown. How are you, buddy?
Hey, thank you. Real pleasure to be here.
Paul is Southern Nevada Chapter Operations Coordinator. Now, that title is longer than some of the drives I've hit over the last couple of weeks, but operation, you know, to me, Paul, that sounds kind of like a community organizer like Barack Obama. What the hell is it that you do exactly?
Yeah, Brock. Well, more important than that, actually. What I actually have is a responsibility of operations for all of the events for all the golf professionals around town.
Okay.
Responsibility of and we run about 28 tournaments a year for them.
Right.
You know, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think of everything that's involved on that, it gets pretty lengthy. Along with the administration of the U.S. Kids Tour.
Right.
We do 16 events for them, and the Antigua Tour, we do 6 for them. So I got a lot on my plate.
I know that you're involved in the U.S. Kids, but I misunderstood. I thought it was kids, you know, like the tennis shoes. So I thought you were going to bring in some samples or something, but that ain't going to happen.
No, maybe clubs. Maybe
all right,
clubs.
that ain't going to happen.
There you go.
All right, a lot of ways to get a hold of us during the show. Of course, we have email, golf at VegasVideoNetwork.com. We have a toll-free line, 866-966-4599. Doesn't cost you a quarter. So give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. Also have live chat, which is very cool. If you want to send in a question, comment, whatever, just simply go online to VegasVideoNetwork.com, hit that live chat button. You'll enter into the live chat room, and you could just send us questions or whatever to your heart's content. Of course, we're also seen all over the place. We are on iTunes. We are big time on YouTube. We're also on Roku television, which is a very, very cool deal to help bring all of your internet favorite shows to your big screen. And also Friday Night Features, where they re-air all of the audio for all of the shows here on the network from 8 to 12 o'clock on AM 1400 KSHP. So if you're driving around on Friday night, Paul, turn on AM 1400. You're going to hear you can hear not only this show, but all
I
of
actually listen to talk radio.
all of the other shows. All right, before we get going into our first segment, let me talk about one of our strategic partners here on the network and Golfer's Guide, publication I'm sure you're very familiar with, Paul. Largest publication, golf publication in the country. It's published regionally. Talks about all of the very, very good golf courses all around the country in a certain area. And as you can see, they're very nice. They stream Golf and Other Four-Letter Words on their homepage. Go to LasVegas.golfersguide.com. Check them out. So if you're playing a muni, playing a resort course, playing a private club, pick up an edition. A lot of good information in here, as you can attest to. All right, let's get right to it and get to our first segment. We call that Tournament Scorecard. All right, Paul.
All right.
Former world number one, Martin Keimer, made 9 birdies over his last 12 holes, something that you're known for, to shoot a cool 63 to capture the HSBC Champions Tournament in Shanghai to win the final World Golf Championship event of the year. As I mentioned, Martin was previously number 1 of the world, moves up into the world rankings, goes from number 6 to number 4. And excellent player, really good event to win. Any surprises there at all?
Actually, yeah, anytime someone comes from that far back, I think you're very surprised. The person who was leading escapes me, but I don't think he really lost a tournament more so than this guy just really just coming on strong. A little Tiger-esque. I mean, think about how when Tiger was at his utmost, he would be 6, 7, 8 shots, and all of a sudden Sunday he wears his Sunday red and just gets on fire. Yeah. So it was great to see that for that young man.
Yeah, and you're thinking of Fredrik Jakobsen, by the way, from Sweden.
Yep.
Who kind of threw up on himself the last day. But you make 9 birdies in 12 holes. Come on, that's sick.
Tough.
I don't care who you are.
Tough to beat. You know, it's we were doing a tour qualifier here a while back, and a tour player was for the JTSO, and this guy it's their mindset, to be honest with you. Yeah. They never think they're out of an event. And I'm sure those 9 birdies, he if you asked him, he was probably not at all surprised.
Not at all. I know. Just no. How many? What's the most amount of birdies you've made in a row?
Most I made in a row was 6.
That's pretty strong.
6. Lowest ever score, 63. Tied him.
Wow. That's I'm impressed.
There you go.
Well, former good college player, went to Arizona University. So Paul's a very good player. Also, a guy right up the road that you know, J. Don Blake, who lives in St. George, Utah, won the Charles Schwab Cup. He's now on the senior tour in San Francisco, following a 20-year drought. His second win on the Champions Tour this season, and he's considered a rookie, obviously. How do you explain that? Guy coming out of nowhere and all of a sudden start to play some really good golf after being off the planet for a long time. How do you explain that?
Guys revived themselves on that seniors tour. Some people who look at Jay Haas. Jay Haas was not a great player on the regular tour, and just went and just
now.
Just dominated. Yeah. Just dominated. So there's those guys who take really good care of themselves. Yeah. The transition from the seniors to regulars to the seniors is really. Yeah. And he's one example. J. Don Blake, I remember watching J. Don Blake play when he won the NCAA championship. You probably don't remember that. But he's a former NCAA champion. And I tell you what, the guy's got the pedigree. And if you got the pedigree, you can make it.
Why not? I'm going to put you on the spot here before we take a break. HSBC, world-renowned, great tournament. They also do another one. Do you know what HSBC stands for?
I'm embarrassed to say no.
Well, most people don't.
I'm embarrassed to say no.
Don't be embarrassed.
Okay.
Hong Kong Singapore Banking Corporation.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Now you
if you didn't give me multiple choice, I wouldn't have got it.
That's cocktail talk. That's cocktail talk.
There you go.
So next cocktail party you go to, somebody asks you, you're going to know it.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
I love golf trivia. That might
That's
be one
of them.
Yeah,
all right, well,
go.
You know I'm the king of golf trivia. So anyway, all right, we're going to step away, take a short break, and when Paul and I come back, we're going to get into a real fun segment. He's going to love it. I do. And we call that birdies and bogeys. So stay with us. We're back with you right after this.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
We are back with more golf and other four-letter words right here on the Vegas Video Network. I'm Dennis. He's Paul. Thanks for hanging in with us. Birdies or bogeys, I'm going to give you some gossip, innuendo, smack, whatever. You tell me what if it's a birdie or bogey or whatever you want to call it, and why. All right, we talked about this last week, and this is really a surprise to me. LPGA world number 1. You talk about somebody who could golf their golf ball. Yanni Tseng, surprisingly, Paul, declined an invitation to play in the PGA Tour's Puerto Rico Open, which is held in March. Her advisor said that it would be too much of a distraction, for her right now. Well, my question is, what the hell did she come out and say? She's very interested in playing in a men's event, not so much to win, but to see how the guys do it and to get some experience. Here they're giving it to her on a silver platter, and she's turning it down. Birdie or bogey?
I'm going to say birdie on her part, only because the best example I can really give you at this time is Annika Sorenstam. She tried the one event. She went to the Colonial, which, if you know any history about the Colonial, it's a little bit shorter course, tighter fairways. So it was a great opportunity for her to maybe even make the cut. And at that time, she was playing better than any woman on the face of the earth, without a doubt. She did make the cut. She had a decent event. I hope people have learned from that. I think women's golf is great for women's golf, and I think men's golf is the same way. I see no reason for a crossover. I think she probably felt the same way. I'm going to give her a birdie for turning them down.
All right. Well, I disagree with you. I think it's a bogey all the way, because, again, she expressed the interest. She brought it up. They're giving her an opportunity. And I agree with you as far as the crossover, but I think maybe an event like this once a year is okay. But no more
for ratings, possibly.
One for ratings.
For ratings, but
exactly
beyond that,
I think the Puerto Rico Open is a good venue for it. It's not a particularly long golf course. I think it's something that she could do fairly well with, but we will never know, will we? All right, moving on. Again.
Go ahead.
Big story. Big story about Stevie Williams, Tiger's former caddy, making a remark a couple days ago at a caddy's dinner at the World Golf Championship, the HSBC tournament, and we know what HSBC stands for now. Last week, where he referred really to a previous interview he gave and said, quote, that my aim was to shove it right up that black expletive. He has since apologized to Tiger and to the tour and everybody, and everybody's kind of moved on from there. Birdie or bogey?
Are we able to give more than a bogey?
Absolutely,
I'm going to give him a quad, maybe, or maybe at least at the very triple. I am so to hear with Stevie Williams.
Yeah.
He when he was on the bag with Tiger, he was his so-called the guy that he was out there like his enforcer type of thing. He just needs to remember he's a caddy. He's not swinging the club. He's not putting the ball in the hole. He's doing nothing but schlepping clubs. Let's keep it all in perspective. He's a caddy, a very good caddy from what I hear, but he's just a caddy. Double bogey, triple.
All right. Well, I really do think that, and everybody says, and he's not a racist. I really don't believe that. No. And given the remark and the environment, obviously he's very bitter, and I guess most people would be about the way he was let go. But again, I even in that context, I think it was not good. And a lot of tour players have stepped up, like Freddie Couples, like others, said, my guy did that. He's gone in a heartbeat. Yeah. So, and to be honest, I thought Adam Scott was gonna let him go, but I don't know.
Though, his reputation is that he's a great caddy.
No doubt.
And there are a lot of guys out there that are looking for great caddies. If Scott had let him go, he'd have had a loop in a day.
Of course.
In a day.
But I think this is going to hurt him a little bit.
He's extremely controversial, and he needs to just kind of tone it back.
I agree. All right. Nominees were just selected by a 16-member panel to select the coveted Player of the Year award, and they include, of course, world number 1 and Money List winner Luke Donald, FedEx Cup and Money List runner-up Webb Simpson, PGA champion Keegan Bradley, local Nick Watney, yeah, doesn't have a chance, and FedEx Cup champion Bill Hawes. Any doubt in your mind as to who's going to win this? And if so, why? And who do you pick?
Well, there shouldn't be. Everybody has their test, within any type of an award, where it be in football, basketball. In golf, they pretty much look at that guy that's that leading money winner. They really do. It carries a lot of weight, and it should carry a lot of weight, because that's the guy who has demonstrated over the course of the year that he's played better than everybody else because he's won the most.
Right.
So I know Luke didn't win any majors, but you need to look at the fact that he had probably more top tens than anybody.
Without a doubt.
So you got to just take the whole picture, and since there wasn't anybody that dominated this year,
right.
My vote's for Luke Donald.
I agree that Luke Donald's like a walking ATM machine, and as you know, the Heroics, the last event in the fall series that Disney purposely played, won it, did what he had to win the money title.
I was impressed by that.
Yeah, and I think he's I shouldn't say a slam dunk, but I certainly think that Luke Donald.
Let's hope so, because I think he's worked hard, and I think he deserves it. What is it? He's a putting machine.
Oh, he's
what is it? He went 400, 500 some odd holes out of 3 putts?
Something like that.
Guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's getting like you.
He's phenomenal.
Like you're the same way. All right, real quickly before we go to our last segment, and I just wanted to get your slant on this. The second stage of Q School is coming up next week. We have a number of locals that are going on to second stage. Bear Creek Golf Club in Murrieta, California. Got Craig Barlow. I call him a $6 million man with all the surgery he's got. Bob May, who I just had lunch with last week, is going to be on the show, by the way, in a couple of weeks. And Dean Wilson. All good players.
He had to go back?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, all good players, so pretty optimistic.
I tell you what, I had the pleasure of watching Bob May play at a U.S. Open qualifier at Dragon Ridge. I think he is probably one of the purest strikers of
Without
the ball
a doubt.
I've ever had the pleasure to watch.
Without a doubt.
He, all day long, has the right club.
Yeah.
He knows he can read. If he could just putt just ever so slightly better.
And of course, the big thing is with his back. That's what got him out for a couple of years. But
Yeah.
Also at the Ombre Golf Club in Panorama City, Florida, Mike Ruiz, former golfer. And finally, TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney, Texas. A guy who lives right here, Alex Pugh, is going to be there. Hard to believe, isn't it? Southern Hills Plantation Club in Brooksville, Florida. Guy I don't know, but apparently he's a hell of a player. His name is John Hahn. So good luck to all of those guys, and we hope they all make it to
You bet.
to the last.
That's what I like about the Nationwide Tour, though. I don't know if you're familiar with, they take their top 25.
Right.
I love what the Nationwide Tour is doing right now. They are, and they proved it looking at the records there, the guys who come off the Nationwide are really better prepared than the guys who are coming out of the tour school. Main reason is because they're used to all the travel time.
Absolutely.
And they're playing for big bucks out on that Nationwide. So it's great to see
It is.
great to see that happening.
And
also.
I've always liked that tour. I've always called it the Go Low Tour.
Yeah.
And I love the way they do it. All right, let's get to our final segment. This is a segment where Paul is here to help you, to help me with different parts of your game to make us all better players. And of course, we just simply call that Handicap Helper.
Okay.
All right, a lot of stuff going on the set tonight. Always, we got action going on. Welcome back, everybody. All right, get your pencil, get your paper, take notes. We've got a lot of good email questions that viewers have sent in that want some help in their game, and this is the guy to give it to you. Arthur emailed this into the show, Paul. Is there any advantage to putting either right-handed or left-handed? Ooh, good question. Ooh, that's a tough one for you right up the bat.
I've heard it said.
So you're thinking a note of the gay right away, hits it, right-handed, putts left-handed, or
I play a lot of money games against a guy who putted both ways. And depending upon the break, if the break was this way, he putted right. If the break was left to right, he putted left-handed.
Kind of like note of the game.
Exactly. Is there any advantage to doing that? I've never seen a top player do that. So I would probably tell this guy that wants to putt both ways, try the big old belly putter. You might have a little luck on that one.
Which is, yeah. And I personally, I try to stay away from the guys that go both ways. I don't know. I'm waiting for something, but apparently it ain't going to happen. Daniel wants some advice or a tip, Paul, to keep him from pushing his drives. Welcome to the club, Daniel.
Pushing his drives.
Pushing his drives.
How technical. Pushing his drives, he's obviously got open club face at impact. He could have his shoulders are open at impact.
A lot of stuff.
If he's finding that it's just occurring to him a lot, I really, and this is where I feel very strongly, go see your PGA golf professional. There are so many talented golf professionals in this town who can give golf lessons that can really help him with that.
And I would say get on video, obviously, and if you went to a good professional anyway, they're going to put you on video, and that's going to tell you almost immediately.
Oh yeah.
Right? Club face, open shoulders, whatever. Michael says that the guys he plays with don't usually use a tee on par 3 holes. Is there any advantage in doing that because he always uses a tee? That's another very good question.
Look at the guys that play on tour. That's what I tell people. Anytime you want to get better, look at the guys on tour. You want to see how those guys do it. I can't think of one tour player off the top of my head. There may be some that would not tee their ball up. Every one of them do. Watch them. And if the best players in the world tee it up, think maybe that's the way to go? I would. I played golf with guys who take their foot and they stamp it down there and they make like a little. Yeah. They're still making a little tee, so take advantage of the tee.
I agree with you.
Because it gives you preferred lie anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. Scott, we got somebody in the chat room.
Yes, sir. Bill wants to know, what do you both consider to be the #1 criteria for selecting a golf teacher?
Good question.
I would tell you the #1 criteria. I think that if you get together with some teacher, you need to make sure that person has the ability to communicate what he's trying to get across to you. All too often, I've seen teachers who get too technical, and that player starts getting that look like a deer with headlights in their eyes. You need that teacher who has extremely good communication skills and that you feel like there's a bond between the two of you. That's when you stay with that teacher because he's going to be the one who will make you that better player.
I could not agree more.
Yep.
Communication, that's what it's
Communication,
all about.
absolutely.
Very, very well answered. Good answer. Dorothy asks if there is one type putter that's better for women than others.
Putter with some heel-toe weighting. Absolutely, I would suggest that. Blade putter, no. You definitely want to probably have her use a putter, too, that's got maybe a little bit of a offset to it. Okay. Offset putter is a little bit easier on the eyes.
Yeah.
Depending upon her age, she might even want to consider the belly putter. The belly putters are great. I'm using a belly putter now.
Yeah. Well, Dorothy might be easy on the eyes too. We don't know. I just got an easy. But that's good. And don't forget to get the pink head cover for it, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Craig writes in and says that he's a bit confused on what technique he should use when trying to hit a rope hook. I love it.
Rope hook?
Because I try to do that all the time. Why,
No.
How do you hit a rope hook?
Very simple. Your feet are pointing in one direction. Your club face shut down. Put the feet where you want it to start. Put the club face where you want it to end. I can't tell them to do it any easier than that. And take your normal swing.
Right.
If you try to manipulate it with your hands and all that stuff, it never works. Yeah.
All right. Julian wants some help in hitting some knockdown shots because he lives in a windy area a lot of the year, and we get a lot of wind here certain times of year in Vegas, and knockdowns are very, very helpful. So how do you hit a knockdown shot?
Play it back in your stance, get your hands a little more forward. There's not a lot of secrets to that shot. You got to have that ball back in your stance. Play it off your right foot instead of in the middle.
Yep.
And he'll have no problem. The ball has a tendency to move a little right. Yeah. So when he does, just play and practice it. And practice.
Got to practice.
The way, just like anything else, if you want to hit the ball high, you need to practice that. Hit it low.
Good advice. Very good advice. I want to talk to you briefly. We've got a couple of minutes left about a couple of the things that I know that are near and dear to you.
Okay.
Talking about the U.S. Kids Tour and the Antigua Tour. Real briefly, tell us about those.
I'm glad to hear you say. You know, junior golf has just been my passion since I've taken over this job 5 years ago. Kids are infectious. You forget that as you get to be an adult. When you're not around them, you see only the adults playing golf. The kids just their passion comes out and it just carries over to you. We run a U.S. Kids Tour. What's so unique about this tour is that it's from ages 14 to 6, and we encourage them to have caddies. This is just something that was just like off the chart that they never did. It was always the kids went out and played. Parents weren't allowed to watch. We encourage the parents to come out and caddy. We encourage spectators. We have to monitor it, obviously, and be careful with that, but it's a wonderful tour. It culminates with a true world championship at Pinehurst in August. Matter of fact, 3 years ago, we had a national U.S. Kids champion from Las Vegas, Brett Sodetz. If you know about him, Google him, and you'll be surprised. He was only 6 years old at the time. He shot 7 under for 3 rounds, and he was a true national champion from Las Vegas.
That is amazing.
I think he's the only one so far. I'm sure he is.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And the Antigua?
The Antigua Tour is run by our Southwest Section PGA. Okay. It's for ages, now we've reduced it. It's now from ages, again, 6 to 18. So we're a little more unique in that. We have caddies for the 10 and under, and the ones that are 10 and older, they have to fend for themselves.
That's
and
nice.
Caddy that.
That's nice.
It's a great tour. We average about 60 kids on the Antigua and about 60 on the U.S. kids and 60 on the Antigua.
That's nice. Golf Digest did an article on a buddies trip here to Vegas. They listed the top 25 courses that they thought would be, great for buddies to play. I've just got the top 10 here. Want to get your impression real quick.
Okay.
Of course, the first one was Shadow Creek. Great Fazio design at $500 a pop. I just got invited.
Have you played that?
I just got invited there to 17th.
I've never played it.
Awesome course. Cascada was number 2. They're going for all the expensive ones. Southern Highlands number 3. The golf course at South Shore. They have Wynn Las Vegas. They have Paiute on there. Rio Seco, TPC Summerlin, and Paiute should be on there. Prim Valley. They're going for the big numbers right at the top.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are. How about pick courses, have a list of the exclusive list and have the list that people can actually play on.
Can afford.
I mean,
Dennis,
because,
do you
I
agree
have
with
never
that list?
even played.
I'm sorry?
Do you agree with that list?
Yes, for the most part I do. For the most part I do.
What are they missing, if anything?
I don't know. I think they could have gone, it's like I say, it's great to have the money. Some of the courses are hard to get on, like obviously Shadow Creek. So I'd say, kick it down a couple of notches, make it a little bit more affordable as well as more accessible. But, I think anytime you're with your buddies, as you have fun no matter where the hell you play.
I tell you what, you can play anywhere as long as you got your 4 buddies with
Exactly.
you.
All right, golf this week, only 2 events scheduled. One meaningless and the other not so meaningless. I'll let you decide. LPGA Tour, the Lorena Ochoa Invitational in Guadalajara, Mexico.
I love it.
You love it. I hate it.
I love it.
The European Tour, Barclays Singapore Open in Sentosa, Singapore. I love that one. Why do you love the Lorena?
I like Lorena Ochoa. She's University of Arizona.
No, that's
Come on,
true.
That's right. You got to.
That's true.
So that's my girl.
All right.
That's my girl.
Yeah, and she's apparently I heard she's, got the, knocking off the rust, and she's playing pretty decent.
There you go.
As is Annika Sorenstam, who is there, and she's playing pretty good there. Downtown Paul Brown, somebody wants to get a hold of you to get some information about our chapter or the section, which is in Phoenix, by the way. How would they do that? If somebody's interested in joining. My
email is southernnevadachapter@yahoo.com.
Okay, that's easy to remember.
Pretty easy to remember. Yeah, pretty easy. And my phone number? Or?
Oh, that's all. Let them go
Okay.
online. Yeah.
Yeah. let 'em go on.
Because you don't want to give your phone number out.
Yeah,
Because knowing you'll have more women. chasing you.
Believe me, I get enough angry parents calling me.
You'll have more women chasing you. You'll have more women chasing you than Herman Cain, for crying out loud. All right.
Yeah, that's all right.
So by the way, I was thinking of you the other day. I played a golf course that had so many dog legs. I could have sworn Lassie designed it.
Which one?
It'll rename.
Okay.
rename
All right.
I'll tell you after. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Golf and Other Four-Letter Words right here on the VegasVideoNetwork.com. Thanks for hanging with us. We're going to be right back here with another good show for you. Same place, same time next week. Until then, fairways and greens, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you all back later.